Good morning and welcome to our topic today, change your beliefs, change your life. Have you ever heard, no pain, no gain? The early bird gets the worm. Money doesn't grow on trees. Don't cry. Who do you think you are? Hi, I'm Miss Chrissy D with the PMK Files, your emergency kit to life. And this is Darlene Turner with Victim to Victory. And together, we're the perspective.
Hi, everyone. So yeah, those are pretty big old statements that a lot of us hear in our head. Did you know that when you're from 0 to 7, you're like a sponge or a blank slate, and everything you're told, you see, and experience becomes how you perceive or interpret and interact with life. So that's pretty huge. As kids, they learn 2 to 3 languages sometimes. So that's how powerful it is as kids, what we're putting into children and what we're taking out from our childhood and how we're showing up in life. Any of you, this is our belief. This becomes our belief system, and we can decide whether we want to keep this or change this. Many of you remember as children, we weren't really allowed to be angry or sad or hurt. We're usually told, to shut it down right away.
Yeah, I'm the perfect example of that. I used to hear all the time, don't cry. You want to cry? Come here, I'll give you something to cry about. And I would have to catch myself telling my kids not to cry, don't cry.
Yeah.
So I had to learn to tell my kids when I caught myself doing it, especially the older ones, it's okay to cry. I would tell them it makes me feel really uncomfortable, but it's okay. I had to empower them and give them the permission to cry just because I didn't have the tools to handle it. I didn't know what to do, but I had to let them do it. It was really uncomfortable.
Yeah, exactly. We were punished as children sometimes if we did cry. So, at an early age, we're taught that it's inappropriate to express our emotions. And it's actually really vital that we are able to express ourselves, because that's our voice. And for another thing, if we're suppressing all these emotions, that's how illnesses and diseases show up.
Yeah. The other one I used to hear all the time, who do you think you are? And I would say nobody. And I would hear, that's right. And don't forget about it. Don't forget about it.
Yeah. And right there, that tells us, we're not taught value. We're not taught to express ourselves. As children, it's like children are meant to be seen, not heard. And so right there is another example of not having a voice and not being express ourselves. And that is vital for life, because that's how we show up in life, is being able to express ourselves in life and in relationships. So the one I wanted to share with you as well is money doesn't grow on trees. So this one, when we have that belief, then it makes it hard to make money. We have to really struggle trying to make money. So we can switch this belief into money shows up with grace and ease. You like that one?
That's good. Yeah, that's awesome.
I remember what you told me your daughters told you when you said, I thought that was great.
Yes. When I said to my kids, money doesn't grow on trees, my smart aleck kid said, well, actually, Mom, money's paper. It does grow on trees.
I thought that was great. I hadn't even thought of that one. So yeah.
Yeah. So what are some of the tips that we can do when we hear, and I guess we know when we hear our mom and dad's voice in our head, like both my girls have said, I've heard you in my head. I've said something and I went, I sound just like my mother. So what are some tips when we hear those negative things?
Well, One tip is that we start to become aware of those little statements that we are saying that sound like our mother, or maybe we're showing up in a way that is like our mother or father. You know, we don't want to discriminate between the two. But yeah, so when we hear that, those old statements that we don't want running, like, so becoming aware of that and deciding, okay, I want money to come with grace and ease, right? So
Yeah,
what we can do is, when we're thinking about and the old statement comes out of our head and we become aware of it, we can just clap our hands, snap our fingers, because it hits reset in our brain. And then we make that new statement, money comes with grace and ease. And that way, it may take a few times because, you know, that old belief's probably been in there since childhood. So when we can actually take that time and hit reset whenever something like those old beliefs come up, then it'll eventually change it in our brain, and we'll start having a new belief system that is the basis of how we're interpreting life and interacting with life.
I like that. I think a lot of times when we think about having to change something, we think it's going to be really long and hard and difficult. So change it right away from money doesn't grow on trees to money comes with grace and ease. That's something quick and easy. When we hear those voices in our heads, say that really quickly and do something to distract our brain. I like that too. I think
Yeah.
those are two really easy things that we can turn around and practice that this week when we catch ourselves doing that.
And eventually, you don't really even have to put the new statement in. You can just snap your fingers and your brain will, like, oh yeah, the new statement's in effect, right? So that's another little shortcut eventually that we can just do that part. And then my tip number 2 is finding a safe place that you can start expressing your feelings, or, you know, sharing your sadness or sharing your frustration around something, so that it's not being bottled up. Because like I said a little earlier, when you bottle it up, it shows up a lot of times actually as chronic pain, chronic back pain, or you may have shoulder pain, like, you know, the world is heavy on our shoulders. That might be another one, you know, and then it shows up as body pain, you know. I have a lot of responsibilities on my shoulders is another
Right.
one, you know. So when we can express ourselves a little better, it starts us to being able to let these emotions kind of start bubbling up a little bit, and it also empowers us to connect with our voice. And that's my second tip.
And it kind of takes us back a little bit to last week's tips about filling our cup and building a support system, bringing safe people into our lives that it is okay to share our feelings with and to have really good positive support. So, love all of those tips. That's really easy for everybody to do. So, as always, we say we're going to keep this short and sweet. Please like and share this with your friends. Come and visit me at misschrissyd.com. Get your PNK files, share those with your friends, and come and see us every Sunday at 10 o'clock for the new perspective on trauma, abuse, chronic pain, and the steps to a healthy and thriving life. We'll see you next time.
Bye, everyone.
And they promoted doing that for years before somebody picked them up. Years. And they did these little blurbs that just gave that just reminded people, get off your ass, exercise, exercise. So
Yeah.
us doing these little bits, I think it's powerful. It keeps people's attention. It's quick and easy, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I could feel my brain. It's like, come on, brain, work with it. I was so tempted to have coffee this morning.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm still feeling the effects of the coffee. So,
wow. Well,
yeah.
good for you.
But it's a week today. I had a sip of Michael's coffee the other day, but I think it's mostly the morning just to get my brain rolling. And it doesn't take much, just like us having that conversation before the show or me going over the notes and trying to explain it back out to somebody, and then my brain starts rolling. But
Yeah.
it's like, oh well, next week will be my third week, and I know I'll be probably a lot better over it by then.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I'm
Yeah, she said she was gonna watch. Yay. Do you want to review it?
sure.
I wanted to, and I didn't do it when we did the show, but I think I was gonna repeat